I know we kind of talk about the same things because some of these games playing out the same way, but I'm curious how you felt like this game played out, at least in relationship to the last one.
Yeah, I mean, I thought our effort was solid. Our effort was solid. The biggest thing is, it's just going to take some time for us to kind of understand as a unit with all of our new guys, kind of what we're looking for, what we're trying to get. And it's kind of crazy because, we always have new guys, so we get to a point where, we play the right way and we start making a lot of progress, and then we have new guys all the time. So we're just not to the point yet, but I thought we competed pretty decent.
Is there like one thing you saw that you liked, and then maybe one thing you saw that you didn't like so much?
I didn't like our attention to detail tonight. It just wasn't there from the very start of the game, literally from the very first play of the game. And it never, it got a little better, but not good enough. And you're playing against a really good team. You can't, you can't hold the ball on one side of the floor. You can't turn the ball over. Obviously, they're the best in the league at getting transition points, so turnovers kill you. And that happened at halftime. We talked about it at the half, and then in the second half, same things kind of continued.
Coach, you had a pretty well-balanced scoring attack with 6 guys in double figures like Phoenix did, but namely Simons, he started off hot 4 or 5, but then he ended up at the second quarter, he hasn't, to the end, he didn't score. And so what exactly happened, and what did you see the adjustments from the Suns and containing him, namely with Bridges on him?
Yeah, they did a good job. Ant kind of got going early, and they started trapping him. Started trapping him really hard all the way out to half court, so it wasn't really just Bridges. It was the trap. It was Bridges and Ayton, to be honest. And what happens is when you get trapped like that, once you do get off of it, I thought Ant took a little too long to get off of it several times, but we didn't make ourselves available either for him. But when you get off of it, you got to kind of penalize the defense. They putting 2 on the ball. You got to be able to 4-on-3 on the backside, make something happen. And when you don't, they never get out of the trap, So we weren't able to make them pay enough, and then that they just was able to continue to keep trapping Ant the entire time.
You guys fought back in the first quarter, but the second quarter when you started pulling away, was some of that went wrong?
Yeah. I thought we did a good job in the first quarter, just kind of getting the ball moving. We got it strong side to weak side. Attacked the paint, created some good-looking shots from our penetration, and then we kind of started holding the ball. We started holding it a little bit. We started shooting some tough shots, and that's a no-no against a team like this.
AJ McCord on Zoom, go ahead.
Chauncey, you mentioned attention to detail and making sure that you focus on sort of the little things with a lot of these new players. How much is it about instilling good habits in some of these guys who don't have a ton of experience in the league in these games?
Yeah, that has a lot to do with it. The biggest thing, is trying to find some practice time, and you end up kind of practicing and trying things in the game, which is not good, especially when you're playing against a great defensive team and offensive team. So a lot of it is repetition. You need to get reps in. But you have to be smart. You got guys kind of banged up. You got guys playing a lot of minutes. You can't really practice that much. You got to give them some rest as well. So you have to balance that. But we'll get there. It takes time. They're all just kind of learning our stuff, learn each other. We'll get there.
You had mentioned in the first game after the break that you feel like Trendon and Greg maybe had a little bit of a letdown. Trendon plays 3 minutes tonight, 13 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. You feel like he's kind of refocused there? Or?
Yeah. Trendon I thought he was our bright spot tonight. He played really well. The things we talk about in moving the basketball, he did a good job of moving the basketball. He's getting really good. At the dribble handoffs and keeping the defense off balance sometimes. That floater of his is getting a lot better. So I thought Trendon was our bright spot of the game today. And I thought Greg was, Greg, I thought he struggled a little bit, just mentally, remembering things, remembering plays, in and out of timeouts, because this game is so much more than just physical.
Aaron Fentress, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, what does Anthony get out of games like this for the last few games and playing with this group of players? Granted, he has a lot of work to do and stuff still, he's not a finished product, but going from playing competitive games to going from like these types of games, what he's playing with, what does he get out of this?
It's tough. It's tough. I think he'll have some opportunity to look at the tape on how he struggled in the double teams tonight. Because we didn't do a good job of penalizing their double teams on the backside, but Ant also probably could have got off of it a little bit quicker. I thought he over dribbled, sometimes in the trap. So there's always something to get out of a game, and you always look back at the game and say, if you had a do-over, what would you do differently? He'll have some of those moments today, but the good thing is he'll have opportunity to do it because teams are going to probably continue to trap him.
Thanks.
Coach, from the beginning of the season, before the injuries, before all the personnel changes, how has your coaching mindset, your coaching focus, has it changed? And if it has, how has it changed from then to now?
Not really. My experience obviously has changed a ton. Been through a lot, in this season, but my principles and concepts haven't changed at all. I'm still trying to teach and coach the same type of things, for our team. So that my messaging hasn't changed at all. Some of our play calls, things like that has, depending on who you have actually out there in the rotation at the time. But as far as our concepts and principles, they haven't changed.
Coach, wondering about the 4 games that you played against Phoenix. What are your biggest takeaways that you tell your team about after that first game? Obviously, you had the blowout win by 29, the third game of the season against Phoenix. But then the next games were grinds. What about in tonight? What was the biggest takeaway that you told your team after the game about Phoenix and what to use?
Well, I don't usually speak after the game, so I just kind of brought it in after the game. But I could just tell you that they're just a well-oiled machine, man. I talked about it before the game. Doesn't matter who plays; they play the right way. Whoever's out there, and that's a feather in Monty's cap. He's just done a terrific job with these dudes. Campaign comes out there, and he wasn't great, from a scoring perspective, but man, he ran the show. He ran it very well. He was aggressive. He got guys open. Get 8 assists. They just play the right way the entire time. Landry Shamet, they just play the right way the entire time. So that's a sign of a very well coached team.
What exactly do you see that enabled Jay Crowder to get 5 steals on you guys?
Well, I think he shot the gap on a lot of our kind of swing passes. He was in the right place a lot of times, but he also it's not only about being in the right place. You got to understand the plays. He's a crafty veteran, and he jumped a lot of the routes of the plays a few times.
Last question is coming from Christos Saltis on Zoom.
Coach, in this 3-game stretch since the All-Star break, what is the biggest concern for your team?
My biggest concern is just trying to get some continuity with our new guys and the guys that we've had here. That's the biggest thing for me. The problem is it's tough to rush that. You have to just get it when it comes and keep kind of chipping away at it.